Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unleash Her. I'm Roberta, your host for today's podcast. And I'm so glad that you're here. This is a place where we empower women to heal from within and find their authenticity while creating extraordinary lives. I mean, do you want to be just ordinary? No. So today I have a very special guest for you. And I would love to introduce you to my beautiful friend, Jade. I'm going to let you tell everyone your last name. This is my beautiful friend, Jade.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jade Olszewski. So
Oh,
grateful to
shit.
be here with you, Roberta.
Aw, thank you. Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to have you. And I can't wait for you to tell everyone your story. But I don't know if you noticed, if you're watching this on YouTube or can see the video of this, you will see these beautiful this artwork behind us. And I have a beautiful piece of artwork that Jade did for me as well. So Jade, tell us about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
Oh my gosh, it's this is something I'm still learning how to summarize because there's so much. Like I'm one of those people, I shine so bright because I have been through so much darkness in my life, like so much. So currently, I consider myself just like a creative catalyst. I'm an empowerment guide and just your ally, your friend, the person that's here to cheer you on and support you and guide you. Because you don't have to do it alone. You don't. Um, so I've been through so much in my life, starting at early age of 12. I've been through so much bullying, severe bullying, abuse, spiritual abuse, physical. Um, I got into perfectionism and was super self-critical of myself because of everything. I ended up developing an eating disorder in high school, really struggled with my mental health. So, like severe depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety. And it just kept getting worse. So then I got in these toxic relationships because I just wanted someone to love me. I just wanted someone to see me and felt like I belong because I felt like no matter where I went, I was rejected. I was abandoned. It wasn't ever good enough. And all I ever wanted to do was love people. Like it always just seemed so simple to me. Like I love to love. And I never felt like it was reciprocated in the way that I always like imagined. And so toxic relationships, fast forward more, my health continued to decline. So I had chronic migraines. We're talking sometimes up to like 25 days a month. I would get my immune system was shot, so I would get sick at least once a month. I had chronic pain that doctors just could not. I mean, I spent over a decade seeing doctors, and most of the things they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. I had irritable bowel syndrome for a while in high school, which actually was what led to the eating disorder because I couldn't eat things without having immense, immense pain. Um, they ended up diagnosing me with chronic myofascial pain syndrome. And so even just like touching my skin like this, wearing clothes hurt my body.
Oh my gosh.
Um, and then to top it off, I always had hypothyroidism, so I was used to getting blood draws. And I think it was about 2017 or so that I had a blood draw, and the phlebotomist hit a nerve and a tendon in my dominant arm. I was told it would get better. It didn't. Um, I couldn't even use my arm. I developed a really rare disorder called CRPS, chronic regional pain syndrome. So, on top of all my other conditions, now I couldn't use my arm and it hurt 24/7. Like pain, like I was used to pain at that point. This was something that I can't even put into words to describe. And I've only met one other person in the world who has it. It's very rare. But it's like a neurological disorder where basically your mind tells you that the injury was worse than it actually was. So I
Mm.
had all these doctors telling me I was just going to have to keep taking these medications. I was on like 13 medications by the time I was 30. And at no point did any doctor say, and I'm not trying to like badmouth doctors. I had very
Right.
complicated issues and so many
Right.
of them. Um, but there nothing was working. And the start of where everything turned around was actually during the pandemic. I was in the beauty industry, as as you
Yes.
know, Roberta, you get.
Mhm.
Um, I was doing that for 15 years. And so the salons were shut down. So I was just
Mhm.
sitting at home in this place that felt like, and I can't expand on it too much for the sake of my son. It felt like prison. So like being condemned to being home, it was awful.
Yeah.
And I saw the movie, and it's the third time it had come around in my life, The Secret. And for whatever reason, I had the time. I had the time to like dive into it more. I like focused attention, and I started making gratitude lists. I'd also started going to a support group meeting around the same time. So between that movie and that support group, because like my family was in Canada, I was in, my parents and my siblings, I was in the US, I have dual citizenship. So like my family couldn't be there with me at the one of the lowest points in my life,
Oh,
but I had this community and they became my family. And so just that alone changed everything. And then going to gratitude, and everything just unfolded from that point on. I remember the day I started writing gratitude lists, and I'm getting emotional,
wow.
crazy goosebumps right now. It changed my life forever, forever.
Just finding something in all of the darkness. You found something to be grateful
And it was
for.
hard. I had to
Yeah.
call my friend who was part of the community because I'm like, I can't even think of anything to be grateful for. Like, I hate myself. I hate my life. I feel trapped. I don't know what to do. And she's like, Jade, you have a bed to sleep in,
Yes.
have a pillow and blankets. That's where I started. That's all
Yes.
I could think of was, okay, I got to eat today,
Yeah.
and I have a bed to sleep on because I couldn't
Yeah.
hardly get out of bed. So it's like, at least I have a bed. And that's
Yeah.
where I started.
That is so important. It's so important for people to hear that because, you know, we just don't realize how fortunate we are sometimes. And we have so many things in common too. I went through that also where I was like, I just want someone to love me. And it was like, well, people did love me. It's just that I didn't love myself.
Yeah.
And and so was this the beginning of all of that then for you, 2020?
Yeah, that really was. I was dying. Like my body was shutting down, my mentally. It was
Mm.
awful across the board. I started writing these gratitude lists, and just joining with community, just people who understood. And that's where my faith really started coming into because I'd gone through a lot of spiritual abuse. And so even just the word God would trigger me. But in these meetings, they talked about a higher power of your understanding. And I was like, oh, like I can decide, like I have a choice in this, or I don't know. There was something about it that like took all the pressure off, or I don't know. It just helped me reframe everything in my mind, that perception. Um,
Yeah, because I
Go
think
ahead.
some people do get a little freaked out because of the word God.
Yeah.
And even I got to be honest, like growing up, I grew up in going to church. And so I still didn't understand. I'm like, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It,
Me
it
too. Like
took some deep understanding of that.
yeah.
And
And I
that's
had always loved going to church, but it's like there are certain things I don't want to get off too much, but
right, right,
I
exactly.
tried a lot of different churches, and it's like I didn't experience it. And it was
Yeah,
actually once I was able
yeah,
to open up my mind, um, and describe it as just like to shift my perspective and a higher power of my understanding, it allowed my mind to open up, and I felt it. that's when I actually started feeling something more, whatever you want to call it. God, creator, source, spirit, universe. I
Hmm.
refer to it as spirit,
Yeah.
or source most commonly, and because that's just what feels good to me. But I felt it. And it's like that I held on to that because it really kept me going. Like just this idea of I was created this way. I'm so sensitive. And I was always told that was a weakness or felt like it was a weakness. Um,
Yes.
I really learned to love myself and to be grateful for what I had now. And it's like when you truly love yourself, you're going to quit looking outside of you for all these things to
Mhm.
fill you up. Like it's already within you.
Yeah.
Like the magic is within you, the medicine is within you. Like you are a living, walking miracle. And it's like when you start to like see that and understand that, like you'll look at yourself differently. And it's like, I've worked really hard to love myself inside and out,
Yeah.
especially on the outside. Like people might look at me and think, oh, she has it so easy or whatever.
Hmm.
I was disgusted with myself most of
Yeah.
my life because it's so deep rooted from so much trauma and ancestral stuff, like
Mhm.
just there's a
Mhm.
lot to it. But
Yeah.
it's like self-love, like gratitude, working on your mindset, and some sort of spiritual practice. I 100% believe if you pick any one of those things, your life is going to change. But if you like combine them all, like you will be unstoppable. You
That's
can do
yes.
anything and you will just
Yes.
just keep going and it keeps getting better as you and I both know. And it's like you and I are both like goal oriented. We have these visions and dreams. And something we touched on before we started recording was it's like even I have to remind myself like I'm already doing it because sometimes I'm always looking ahead at what I want and I have to revert back to the basics like gratitude, like being grateful for what I've accomplished now, for who I
Yeah.
am now, instead of always trying to become more. So for me, it's a balance. It's like a dance, with the energies of stepping into your power, but loving yourself now. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, so much sense. There was when I first started doing like mirror work, I would look in the mirror and, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to say something that I like, or I'd be like, oh, I like my eyes. I
Yeah,
love the color of my eyes. It was the only thing that is where I began. So you have to
yeah,
begin somewhere.
for sure.
And at this time, were you working with a mentor? Were you in like a community of a mentorship community or?
So that came shortly after. So there was the pandemic. I started going to
Yeah.
gratitude and was part of a support group. I ended up moving to Canada, after I got divorced. And that's when I hired my first mentor. And I've hired many since then. And for me, it's something that I will always have because I believe you can be a work in progress and a masterpiece at the same time. And I'm hungry for knowledge. I'm hungry
Mhm.
for the truth. I
Yeah.
love to learn. For me and how I was designed, I can see other people very well. I can look at anyone and like see who they truly are. I can see their potential. I can look at your business, your craft, and tell you I have ideas up the wazoo. Like I have enough brilliant ideas to last like 20 lifetimes. But looking at me is still kind of hard for me. Like I can do it. I have the practice, but it's just how I was designed. Some people are built. I started learning more of human design. Again, another subject, but there's so many tools. And for me, I'm good at helping other people. Like I said, serving other people, seeing what
Yeah.
they need. Like even like I said, just doing someone's hair,
Yeah.
you're healing them. You're
Yeah.
holding space for them. You know what they need. But for me, I could tell you everything about everybody else. I had no idea who I was. And so I will always work with a mentor because I just want to make the most out of this life. I want to help as many people as I can. And I can only do that by working on me. If I'm not growing, I can't take other people with me on that journey. And I want to leave an
Yes.
example. I want to be my own best testimony, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
my first mentor was when I first met you.
Yes.
I don't know what year that would have been,
I know we're like, I think it
21
was
or something. Like I don't
21.
21 or 22. Like
22. Yeah.
time
Yeah.
kind of eludes me.
Actually, I
I
think it
I
was 22. I know we're like, what year is it?
okay.
Doesn't even matter. No,
It doesn't.
22.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That
Yeah.
was that was huge. Like
Oh,
I there this is another dance with me. It's like I now like I push myself to get uncomfortable every day because if you're uncomfortable, it means you're growing. And I've
yeah.
proven to myself what I'm capable of. So there's this dance about you can do it and no one can do it
Yeah.
for you. So like empower yourself, know you're capable of anything. But on the other hand, or also in conjunction with that, you don't have to do it alone. Like sure
No.
you could, but you don't have to. But
Yeah.
there's still something to be said like when you're co-creating with other people, like you and I are doing right now, we're accomplishing something that we couldn't do on our own. So really like unity um is such a key to all of this. And I just encourage everyone who's listening to like set your ego aside of even thinking you need to be strong all the time, you need to do all this stuff, and let other people hold you and hold space for you because there's people out there who know exactly what you're going through.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. It's so important to find people around you, to be surrounded by people that like-minded people and that help support each other. And that's
Yeah.
why, you know, this podcast, I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was like, can I do this? I don't know. Yes, you can do
Yeah.
anything you want. And sometimes
Yeah.
you have to ask for help. And so this has taken, this has been a lot of research and just I had to step into the person
Yes.
we all have a voice and I'm ready to use that. I'm ready to use that and to tell people what I've been through and to hopefully help them. And I know
Yes.
that's what you're here for too.
Yeah.
But you
Absolutely.
and we can, yeah, we do look at you and we're like, what? She's beautiful. You're so artistic and talented. And but sometimes it's hard to find that. And
Yeah.
but when did you start have you always been artistic and drawing? Because do you call them paintings or do you call that artwork?
I call these ones paintings. Yeah.
Okay.
I do digital art and stuff too. So it's like that's
Okay.
artwork as a whole, but these that you're seeing and like behind you is I call
Guys,
them paintings, but
she puts energy into these paintings. And when this arrived and I opened it up, I was blown away at how beautiful and professional and it
all
please
the
tell us
details,
more
right? Like
about
all the
what you put
details.
in this.
Yeah. So I've always been an artist. Just to give you a little background. I've always been an artist since I can remember, and I was part of a small I lived in a small town and people recognized my talents. And at some point, I don't even know who it was, they gave my parents these like VHS like videos of Bob Ross painting. And so I was doing like drawing and charcoal and acrylics. Well, I started oil painting when I was like 11 years old. And it just came so natural to me. It was so like effortless and easy, but I never developed my own style. And I was very meticulous. I was very much a perfectionist, which can be good, but it can also not be healthy.
Yeah.
So fast forward, as you heard before, I couldn't use my arm for a while.
Yeah.
I donated all of my stuff. I wasn't working. By the time I did go back to work, I would do like one appointment and then I'd have to sleep the rest of the day because it took everything out of me. I had to relearn how to do like permanent makeup and nails and all this stuff. So fast forward to after I started working with this mentor, I was like, it was just suggested to me to start painting again. And I was like, okay, sure. And this is when I really started tapping into my intuition. And it was part of my spiritual practice as well. It's like melded together for me. And so my process was given to me. It's parts of it, part of the details of like your packaging and like I like
Oh,
the details is me,
yes.
but the
Okay.
actual process that was given to me. That was all like spiritual, collective consciousness, like downloads, source, whatever, channeling through me. So now I paint intuitively. I have no vision in mind. I pick a song that's been put on my heart, that's just been like my intuition's like play this one, and I will put it on repeat. So one song for each painting on a loop over and over again, and it helps me get into a deeper meditative state. Before I start painting, I go to gratitude, and I'm like, I'm so grateful for this studio, for this space to paint, for the money that I was able to invest in these art supplies in. I'm so thankful I have not only the talent to paint, but I have the ability now. Like I have 10 fingers and 10 toes. I have eyes that see. I can use my arm again. So I
Yeah.
go into a deep state of gratitude and I turn on the song and I just pick colors that bring me joy. Like I'm all about following the joy and I just see what comes out. And it's like sometimes I'll paint for forever and it's like, I don't know what's happening. I just keep throwing paint at it, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like look at this. And
Oh,
sometimes it comes together quickly. Um, but there's always a message that comes through. There's always a deep message that comes through, whether it's like, enjoying the journey or stepping into your power or giving yourself grace, or there's always a very healing and empowering message that comes through with each painting. And so even the title is given to me. I don't think of it. It just and it's a download, like it's an intuitive hit that I get. So the title, the message, all of that. And then yeah, I some of my little touches. So like I put gold on all of my paintings. And so here's the thing with that, and it's really powerful. So gold is subjected to intense heat so that the impurities can rise to the surface and be scraped off, and you're left with like pure 24 karat gold. Well, we go
wow.
through these fires in life. We go through the intense heat, the trials and tribulations. We go through that to help make us more pure, to bring us back home to ourselves. Like everything is a
Yeah.
lesson or a blessing. And
Yeah.
so it was just refining. So when you can look at it from that perspective of these things that you went through and just shift it instead of, oh, this happened to me. Why did this happen to me? To being like, oh, this happened for me. It's
Yeah.
it will change your life. And so I put gold on all my paintings.
Oh,
Um, I do like handwritten thank you letters for all my collectors on homemade paper, and I always add like a touch of glitter. Like
oh,
I
it's
the certificates of
yeah.
authenticity all are
Yeah.
like gold foiled. Everything is very intentional in what I do. And I want to make you feel like the one of a kind, the special, extraordinary, divine being that you are.
Yeah.
So it's so much more than just a painting to look at. And I wouldn't want someone to even honestly to buy a painting if they're like, oh yeah, it's pretty, I can put that there. Like I want it. This is to speak to your soul. And I do Reiki on
Yes.
them. I do sound baths. I play frequency music 24/7. I put so much intention, healing energy, positivity, abundance, health, peace, love. I fill them up for you so that it can fill your space, raise the vibration of not only you, but the space that you're in. So that's why I love seeing your painting in your
Oh,
room where you're doing your podcast and your work, because
yes.
I know it's helping you. It's helping hold that energy for you and raising you up and supporting you.
It has brought me so much joy. And I look at it every day. And you guys, so I had seen this painting behind her in her room or wherever it
I was at
was.
my other house, yeah, where I
Okay.
was
And I'm like, it just drew me in. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was
That's what
like,
I'm
that is
talking about.
mine.
Yeah, it
Yes,
spoke to you on a soul
it did.
level. Even if you didn't
It did.
realize that's what it was, it connect. Yeah. Yeah.
It did.
I remember
And
you
then,
reaching out and you're like, is my painting still available? You kept
yeah.
calling it your painting. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so hers.
Because
Like,
you guys, the thing is, I thought if it's still there, then it's meant to be. Okay. It's
yeah.
meant to be. And the song that you did was I Am Light.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And it brings me so much joy. And talk about energy. I'm telling you, it just did something. Because I bought that at still kind of a low point in my life, not knowing that it was going to bring me so much happiness. So
Yeah.
thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. That just, I love painting, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
love it and I would do it no matter what. But getting to like hear people's stories and how it helps them, how it speaks to them, what it does for them, like that's everything to me. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your artistic ability with others. I think we all have artistic ability in one way or the other and or
Yeah,
another,
we're all creative.
but
Yeah.
that just blows my mind. I cannot draw anything.
But that's the thing,
So,
like, yeah, we all have gifts. And we all have multiple gifts. And so, as I was mentioning right before we started, like I'm so big on collaboration and co-creating because it's like I want to build a community, a team, a family, all my relationships. It's like everyone comes together bringing their gifts to the table. And it's like, yeah, like I'm artistic, I'm super creative, I'm so compassionate and like loyal and devoted. I have all these strengths, but like I'm not very techie. There's things that I'm
right.
not good at doing and I can learn them and I
Yeah,
am.
right.
But I'll let someone else who like that's their gift. I'll let them bring that to the table. It's like we can create so
Yes.
much more when we do it together. So it's like just keep in mind like we all have our gifts. Don't get into the comparing game because I know we all tend to do it, at some point or another. But it's like you were chosen to have those gifts and no
Yeah.
one can do it like you can. So use
Right.
them, like embrace them,
Yes.
strengthen them, use them, and then share them. And yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
and like we're all so more magical than we even can comprehend.
Wow. I think some of us that are, listening right now just are like, really? Like, you haven't always been like this? It's life is a journey and
I was not like that at all.
you
Um,
found that, you pulled that out. But what I love
yeah.
about you too is that, um, we talk a lot about feminine and masculine energy, and you're so, so good about that. You know when it's time to be still. You're not
Yeah.
out there like, I gotta grind every day. I have to post on social media. I have to do all of that. So you just have you always had that, or has that just been something new?
Oh, that's new as well.
Okay.
I grew up on a farm, like, and I didn't have to do the same kind of work my brothers did. In case
Yeah.
they're listening. Um, I didn't, but I grew up where it's like, and it was modeled for me, like you work hard to get what you want. And I've always been a very passionate person. I feel everything very intensely and strongly, like more so than I feel like a lot of people
Mm.
do. And so I would put that into my work. But I also, being so empathic, I would give and never fill my cup. So yeah, I was always a hard worker, but to the point of burnout and extreme health issues. And so now, and it's a daily practice, right? Like I haven't mastered this yet, and I think part of it's just we're human, right? But reminding myself that when I fill my cup first, when I do my practices, my gratitude, yoga, like meditation, my prayers, my mirror work, when I like use all my tools and do my energy work, fill my cup, the amount of work that I can get done in a short amount of time because it's aligned.
Yeah.
Like when you do things with intention, the results are far different. So I've realized with me, and everyone's different. Um, I'm very intuitive and I know when it's time to rest and slow down
Hmm.
and when it's time to like take action and face it, whether I'm scared or not. Like
Yes.
I just go for it. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
always work out. So that's what works for me.
That
But
is so beautiful.
yeah, yeah. It's all
Oh my
really
gosh.
like there's so many tools that we all have. And I don't believe that there's any one mentor who knows the way because we're all different. We're all unique. So it's like we have all these tools. Um, use what, like, once you get to understand yourself, you'll know what works for you and what doesn't, what that balance looks like. I think it's all very similar for us, but it's still going to be a little different. Like, I know I need more rest than most people. Some people do better by doing more and having multiple projects going on at a time. So it's like, I don't want to tell anyone there's a right or a wrong way, but all of these tools are very powerful and they will change your life. Like just the positive messages that you're sharing, said anyone can benefit, no matter where they are, what age they are. That doesn't matter. Like a positive mindset and like gratitude and self-love is going to change your life for
It
sure.
really, it does.
And I
It
think
really,
everyone's seeking balance, like balance is so key. And that looks different through our different seasons too. So yeah.
oh, because sometimes we just want to like, no, but I want to go. Like, I want this to
Yeah.
happen. Why
Yeah.
isn't it
Yeah.
happening? And we're fighting
Yeah.
against. And so I've definitely have learned that myself, trying to force things
Mm.
to happen
Yep.
just does not work out.
Yeah.
But we have been through a lot of similar things. Like I had IBS too. I wanted to talk a little bit on this for people. And I used to be on thyroid medicine and antidepressants and everything.
Yeah.
So now I take no medicine. I take no prescription, nothing. And I have not had any issues. All of my blood work is fantastic and IBS is gone. Why would that be? I just want to touch on that because I've actually been, I've gone to the hospital before to the ER because my stomach hurt so bad. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't realize it was stress.
Yeah.
Stress was like eating me up.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
like a
point.
poison. Like
It is.
resentment, shame.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's
All of
like
those things
always, it will literally, yeah. Mhm.
will cause physical harm to your body.
Yeah.
So once you learn, and it just took for me too, it's funny because I've watched the movie, the documentary, the movie, The Secret, probably hundreds of times, and I love it. And it took more than that. I actually worked, studied under Bob Proctor, who was in the movie The Secret, and then continued to figure out, wow, I do. Here's the thing. I needed someone to believe in me until
Yeah.
I could gain the belief in myself. Same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what mentors are for. That's what coaches are for. And so I didn't understand that before. I didn't understand this whole world that was out there. And so let me just ask, so where do you go from here? What do you see? What do you want to do for people? I don't
Mhm.
The
Oh my
stage
gosh,
is
there's
yours.
there's so many things. I want to do all the things. Um, so there was a vision that was given to me a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago when I started learning about energy work and was really tuning in deeply. And I want to build not only like, or I'm going to build not only a greater like online community. There's something I'm going to be launching in June, and it's going to have
Ooh.
so many tools available for people. There'll be different levels. So depending on, and it's going to be so affordable. Like no matter where you are on your journey, like you can get your foot in the door and it will help you. And then as you rise, you can dive in deeper if you want. It's family friendly. It's going to be so, so powerful of all my tools because I'm always studying, I'm always learning. And then it has my artistic like twist on everything as well. So it's like even if you're already a coach, like you're gonna love it. So I'm building this online community that I'll be launching in June, but someday I'm gonna have an in-person center. And I know exactly what it looks like. I don't know where it's gonna be or how, but I know it's going to happen. So yeah, that's going to be
Ooh.
incredible.
Now
Um,
we're going to be left in suspense here. Can't wait
yeah.
till June.
Yes.
Too.
But I love like I do one-on-one work with people. So whether it's coaching, mentorship, energy healing sessions, I do paintings, I can do custom artwork for people, which I do a lot, or I'm always creating. So I always have those paintings. Even with my Reiki sessions, I have one where I'm actually like channeling um guidance for you. So it's not even from me. It's from like your angels, from your spirit team, like directly from source to give you like the next steps that you need. And then I make artwork out of everything that I see and that comes through. So there's all different ways that I can guide and support just depending on where you're at and budget, but I have something for everybody.
Ooh, I love it. Hey, I've seen some of that artwork that you've done for others, and it's so
Mm.
beautiful.
So cool. And it's its own healing art in
Ah,
itself, right? You know, like it's
yeah,
not only the visual reminder of, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be like focusing on right now, or this is what was given to me, but it's going to keep giving you that energy from the session too, just vibrating right off your walls. So it's very healing for my clients in
oh my
itself.
gosh, I love that. So how can people find you? Where can they find you?
So I have two different ways. I'm simplifying things and keeping it simple. So right now I'm focusing on Facebook, just on my personal page. I have a business page as well, but you can look me up, Jade Olszewski, and reach out. Like I love connecting with people. Absolutely love it. So you can find me on Facebook. I'm on other platforms as well, but again, that's where my focus is. And then I have my website, which is like my hub for all the things that I do. So that's jadebriannecollective.com. And so I'll make sure that I give you the link so that you can share it for people. I know it's a long name, but yeah, anyways, my website or Facebook are the best ways to reach me right now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Any last words? Anything else you want to say?
Oh, there's so many things. I just, whoever's listening, I want you to know like you're a masterpiece and you are the artist of your life. So you can create whatever you desire, whatever's been put on your heart. It wasn't given to you for by accident. So if you have dreams, if you have hopes and visions, you're capable of them. So it's like go inward and love yourself and dig deep. And I promise you, like you can have it all. Like you really can.
Oh my gosh, so well said. Thank you so much, Jade. Wow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone, for joining us today, too. I hope you feel empowered. I know you have to after this. And, if you want to live an extraordinary life, through my VIP coaching, you can reach out and let's have a conversation. And until next time, like my grandma always said, so long.